Miles is good. We're going to get a few more evaluations after practice, but seems like everything's okay. Yeah. Foot.
What has impressed you about Miles in general so far through camp?
I think the biggest thing for me was how well he came back in shape, coming off those injuries in the offseason, missing so much offseason time, his conditioning, keeping his weight where we asked him to be, and then just attacking every single day. We've monitored his reps, so we're not doing it with him, and he's showing up every day.
Is he back anytime soon, or what's?
He's still working, obviously working every day, getting some individual work. So I would expect him here, maybe in the next few days. Yes, at least working back into the individual and some 7-on-7 stuff.
Did DeSean have the day off today?
I just gave him a rest day. He worked some individual and just giving him some time.
Is he still kind of working?
Say that again?
Paul Warlow, is he still working through the ACL? Has that kind of been a setback this week? Or?
Yeah, no, we're still monitoring him. We're still, getting him healthy day by day with him, we'll see where he's at, but he's doing well.
Clement participated in 7-on-7 for the first time today. You happy with his progress? When do you think he'll be ready to go?
Yeah, obviously, as you know, no timetable on when he can come back, but we got to get him. We still have to get him ready. So 7-on-7 today was good for him, just to get back into seeing live defenses, live route running, and it was a good start for him today.
When you went live the other day, I'm just curious why you ones versus ones as opposed to ones versus twos.
I think first of all, the ones, they really know how to practice against each other. They can still go hard, get good work in. We can still tackle to the ground and get, because they're playing against other team starters, right? So it's a great way to get some great work in. Same way with the twos, competing, against each other in that second group. So it was a little bit of a change for me, but I was pleased with the effort.
Greg Ward seemed to have another good day today. Tell me about his progress and how helpful the AAF experience was for him.
Well, I think that was a valuable experience for him to play and get out there and compete. Again, he's a guy that we know. He knows our system. He's getting comfortable in the slot, kind of moving him around a little bit. He's showing up on tape, so been excited with his progress.
Don Smolenski said last week about the open practices that the team obviously was the priority in not having more than just one. What kind of input did you have into that decision?
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into it. As far as even the field, being on the field for a couple of, we got a preseason game in between. I know we had, the concert over there, things like that. So, we just a lot of factors we take into consideration when we make these decisions, and obviously it's a great situation for our fans. When we go over there a couple of times, and we love practicing in front of our fans. We love having all the people here. It was just unfortunate we just had the one decision this year to go over there once.
Are the restrictions of just having one field an issue to not having more than one?
No, it's actually a benefit from the standpoint of from a GPS tracking standpoint and a physical standpoint. They don't have to run as far. We're using one field, and it really sort of intensifies the practice based on limited amount of running from field to field.
What was your first practice like as a rookie quarterback? What did they make you do during training camp?
I was always with the offensive line, and I was always doing cadence. And I got no reps as a backup quarterback. My first training camp, first couple of training camps. I threw a little bit of individual to backs and tight ends, never with the receivers. It was always, Doug, you go down with the offensive line and do one-on-one pass rush, and that was my job.
How about off the field? Did you have to buy dinner and carry?
Biggest thing. Actually, I remember, being in Miami. The biggest thing was singing. They made the rookies sing either, and we were at a college, St. Thomas University back then, and we'd go eat in the cafeteria, and of course there were students in there for summer school and stuff like that, and they would either make us sing during lunch or grab us at dinner and make us sing in front of everybody.
Coach, it's somebody natural kind of saying that this position group on your team is one of the best in the league, etc.
Which one?
The importance of your offensive line, your pass rushers, the importance of building your roster from the outside or from the inside out.
Yeah, I mean, it's, obviously from an offensive perspective, we got to protect the A gaps out. From a defensive perspective, if we can penetrate, through the middle, through the A and B gap, and then have pass rushers on the outside, guys that can sink their hips and transition. That's a big part of what we do schematically here when we look for players, obviously, and just the transition. But having depth at both positions allows you on defense to do multiple personnel packages, 4 linemen, 5 linemen, 3 linemen, whatever it might be, and then having depth at offensive line just gives you obviously the depth when you get an injury during the season. Somebody can fill in and play just like the starter did.
Coach, it's 20 years since you played quarterback here. You've had quite a journey since then. Assistant, going into your 4th year as a head coach. You won a Super Bowl. When you're not dealing with the daily grind of your job now, do you ever sit back and reflect upon your story with the Eagles and Philadelphia?
There's an occasion or two where you kind of reflect back on the career and kind of the journeyman backup position as a quarterback and obviously my time here in Philadelphia for the 1 year and a training camp, and I do think about those times and now being in this position, sort of how that's affected my mindset, how I think, how I go about handling my business, and how I approach the football team, and even some of the messaging to the team based on some of those experiences that I went through. And I think that's something that is I've kind of leaned on, in my professional career.
We're a week in the camp. Who are some of the maybe like unheralded guys that have stood out to you when you watch the film?
I mean, I think there's been a lot of guys, honestly. Gosh, I hate to start just singling guys out, but I mentioned. Gosh, who was I talking about the other day? I think Agadosi is a kid that's kind of showed up a little bit here from a receiver standpoint. Mark and Michel is another one. I mean, these guys have really busted their tail to put themselves in a position to help us and to help themselves. Obviously, make decisions tough. You're looking on the back end. I think even a veteran like Andrew Sendejo, who's come in as a free agent and picking up our defense and learning the defense and making the calls and feeling comfortable back there. I think that's even though he's a veteran player, I think that's a plus for us. Even Jordan Howard coming in and understanding his role and what he's capable of doing. Andre Dillard obviously is a bright spot. He's getting better every single day. He's competing. Is it pretty all the time? It's not, but he's understanding his role and what he's expected of. So, and there's other guys, but those guys have really, and then others have really stepped up and done a nice job for us, this far.
You mentioned
Do you expect to cross-train him on the right side at all?
Who's that?
On Dillard?
We just got to get him comfortable where he's at. I think he's capable of going to the other side, but right now, we just got to get him comfortable on the left side and keep learning from JP.
Doug, you mentioned Agadosi had some nice catches today. Obviously, he's got the tremendous length. How is he handling the other aspects, the route running, change of direction, things like that?
That's the thing that I think that every young receiver learns, as they go. I mean, every day is a different day, a different set of challenges. I think he's working his tail off in the individual part of practice. He's tall, so he's got to learn to play with his pad level down, and corners, DBs can really get their hands on a tall frame. So he's really working hard on that and bending and pretty flexible for a big guy, and it's carrying over into the team reps.
Thanks,
Okay.